I'm Alexander Sturgeon, Mole in the right hand, Penguin Duck birthmark. So, what have I been gathering over the past 5 years since late 2017, more so into late 2018, 2019, is there's a lot of crimes that have been being committed on me since 2011. And there's a lot of data and info. And there's relevant stuff. And then there's irrelevant stuff. And there's these weird communities of people who love to tell you some stuff that's relevant, but leave out some key stuff that's very, very, very relevant, and then fill your mind up with all this irrelevant nonsense. And a lot of time it's made up, it's manufactured, and then they want to fill up your mind with wasting time trying to decipher what's real and what's not from irrelevant shit, as opposed to paying attention to the relevant shit, such as RICO, terrorism, organized crime, illegal weapons manufacturing and distribution, implantation, this technology that threatens humanity, these brain computer interfaces, these terrorists implanting people with implantable devices and disrupting cognition, memory, processing, harvesting information from people's brains via telepathy. So there's a lot of people who keep trying to bog you down with all this irrelevant nonsense, these tidbit data storms, and give you data overload in order to wash out info that's relevant to terrorism, organized crime, RICO, theft of trillions of dollars, illegal gambling, financing of terrorism and organized crime. So they're trying to fill you up with this irrelevant shit, tell you maybe some relevant, or not even tell you at all. And what they keep trying to do is, I guess these little telepathy shitbags I hear all the time, they're always trying to throw around irrelevant shit that's not relevant to RICO, terrorism, organized crime, and things that threaten humanity. And I guess whenever I'm dropping key points and key analysis, when people are really putting something together and starting to recognize something, they start these irrelevant attacks, irrelevant data attacks, and try to fill your mind up with irrelevant shit, irrelevant details, and then even having to waste time deciphering through what's real and what's not, and maybe even throw in their tech in with it. Here's some cues, here's some telepathy, here's some bullshit, and they waste all your time. Then they don't just distract your mind and psychologically hijack you. They're also making you deal with data involving analyzing and deciphering what's real. And when you were already dealing with the relevant shit, which was important, things that threaten humanity, and then they psychologically hijack you, distract you with this, distract you with manufactured data, take up mental real estate, dealing with the relevant shit, dealing with manufactured evidence, dealing with manufactured stories, etc., to where when you try to go back to the relevant shit, you've already been taken off path, and maybe some of these key tidbits of info you were working with have now been washed out, and it's been filled with this irrelevant nonsense. So try to focus on what's relevant and not this retarded nonsense that I don't even know what they talk about anymore. They just make up weird shit, and then I'm just like, what the hell are they talking about? But it should also, like I said, you should pay attention to who's trying to fill you up with irrelevant shit and who's trying to tell you what matters. New age mind slavery, technology that threatens humanity, economic espionage, mole man, terrorism, RICO, illegal terrorist financing through organized crime, illegal gambling, economic espionage, IP theft, data theft, financing of highly illegal, unethical, inhumane human experimentation, MK Ultra like human programming experiments, which they finance through financial crimes, illegal gambling, uh, economic espionage, IP theft, data theft, financial crimes, etc. So that's what you should be focusing on. Focus on the relevant, discard the irrelevant, because when you're juggling data from 2011, your brain can only handle so much, and it can only store so much information. If you have all this relevant and irrelevant shit competing and taking up memory stores, it can make it difficult to shuffle and juggle or shuffle through data since 2011. Key point. So don't fall for their hustle. They're taking advantage of your neurophysiology and just memory storage, and taking advantage of how your brain analyzes information and how it pulls from memory banks. And if you're trying to analyze things that threaten humanity with people involved in all sorts of deceit and deception, while you have all these tidbits of memory, if you have all this irrelevant shit, your analytical processes may be hindered as well, since they're taking up memory stores with these tidbits of misinformation and irrelevant shit. And if certain memories would have been formed and certain information would have been stored in your brain that was with the relevant shit, you may have been more able to put the pieces of the puzzle together. But because they're filling you with all the irrelevant shit, some pieces may be missing, which can hinder analytical processes. Key point.